Hi, I'm Haebin. This is my culture recognition speech for Communication 101 class. Here's my note card. And here are my 9 audiences. Thank you all for coming.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Alright, which culture do you belong to? Culture can be your ancestral background, traditions, beliefs, or practices. So I'm sure that every one of you have your own culture that you can share with your friends, and I also do too. I'm from South Korea, and I belong to South Korean culture. It is always a great opportunity to learn about different cultures and learn how to embrace those differences. So I would like to share my culture with you today. I'll focus on our culture of politeness, and the 3 elements I'm going to talk about are: first, courtesy to older people; second, polite table manners; third, traditional and everyday practices. First, it is very important to be very polite in South Korea, especially to older people. Korea is called the country of courteous people in the East Korea, meaning that every Koreans are very polite and we put much emphasis on being polite. This might sound very heavy for you, but if you listen to our age system, you will find it interesting. So when we are born, we are 1 year old, and everyone in Korea become 1 year older when it's January 1st every year, not on your birthdays. The year you were born matters a lot because it determines whether you can treat someone as a friend or whether you should be polite to them. If there is people who are born earlier than you are, then you have to treat them with politeness. And if they are born after years or same year, then they are your friends. But if for the people who are born earlier than you are, you have to be polite and you cannot call them by their first names. So for example, in your family, you cannot call your mother, father, or grandfather or older siblings by their first names, but instead you have to call them by their titles, like mother or father. I know this sounds very confusing, but understanding our age system is fundamental to understand our culture. Another culture is polite table manners. So there are rules or practices that we have to follow when we are eating with older people that reflect our politeness. When we eat with people who are older than us, then we have to wait for them to have their first bites, and then afterward we can eat. This is the way how we show our politeness to them. And another one is that we should not make noisy sound when we eat with them, and we have to follow the older people's pace so that we don't finish our meal before they do. These are some polite table manners that we have to show to older people. And the last culture is our practice or traditional or daily practices. There are several traditional or daily practices that reflect politeness. First is bowing culture. I believe that many of you heard of this culture already. When we meet or say hi to older people or someone who we don't know or who we are not familiar with, we have to bow our heads toward them to show polite way of salutation. And also when older people hand you something, you have to get with 2 hands. And when you hand them something, you also have to give with 2 hands. This is a polite way of showing our manners to them. So being polite is very important in South Korea. Ages matter, and there are rules on table manners and daily practices that we show our politeness to older people. While listening about my culture, you guys might have compared my culture to your culture, and there might be similarities or differences, but being different doesn't mean that one is right and the other is wrong. Every individual is important, and none of us should be discriminated because of our differences. So we should learn how to embrace and understand the differences to make a better world. Thank you for listening. And here's my notepad.